Hi guys, how you going here? You've got Riz Khan from ReonCapital.com. You're going to love this video because I'm going to actually take you through, or partially take you through exactly what I do to get one of these REO deals done. I've got an email here, right? This is from one of my best buyers. I've just received this email, and basically if you read through it, what he's saying is that, look, show me some stuff that you've got in Atlanta. He's after residential REO in Atlanta, and he'll probably pick about, 5 to 6 of these, okay? So what's the first thing that I do? Okay, so for me, the first thing that I do, I bring up my interactive database that's got all the information I need about what banks have. And the first thing I do, okay, I need to find a bank. So that's a list of all the banks, and I need to find banks that have got residential REO. There it is. That's all the banks that have got residential REO. But this guy doesn't want, any bank. He wants, residential REO. Well, first of all, I want to order this, actually. I want to order this by residential REO. And he wanted residential REO in the city of Atlanta. So let's just do that, in the city of Atlanta. Okay, there we go. So what do we see? I now know that SunTrust Bank has got some, REO that's, 60845, and you've got to multiply that by 100,000 or so. So, they've got about, if I've got the numbers right, about 6 million or so and more. Actually 604, about, maybe 60 million if I've got it right, of REO, residential REO in the city of Atlanta. Okay, so that's the first step that I do. Okay, then after that, I then come over here and I say, okay, I now need to phone those banks, right? I need to make a contact and phone the banks. There's a bunch of banks here that I can call. I know now which banks I've got. So going back, what does the person want? He wants a residential REO in Atlanta. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Forget about what this offer is. I'm going to show you all this later on a bit more, but I'm just showing you the tools that I use and how I work this out. The first step is then to find the bank. So here's a list of banks, right? I could go to SunTrust Bank, I could go to Georgia Primary Bank, I can go to the Community and Southern Bank, and so on and so forth, right? So once I know which banks to go to, I need to have a contact. I need to know who to actually phone and who to call and who to speak to get a list of that REO. So then I come here and I'll basically say, okay, I want a contact for Atlanta. What have I got? Okay, I've got some in my list. I can't open these up and actually show you the contact because that's private information. But what I've built here, I've basically built a database, and it's a database of a bunch of banks, right? There's 1,000 banks there for all the states that are from A to J, and there's another sort of 3,500 almost from the banks that are in the states from K to T, and then another bunch of banks that are in the other states. So all up, I've got about 5,500 banks in this particular database. Now I'm not looking here to sell you a database, I'm just showing you how I do this. And the type of information that I've got in this database is the name of the bank, the REO contact, his actual name, his title. I also have the phone number of the bank, the direct REO's contact phone number, and if there's a notes dealer, right, I get their number as well, the email addresses. And basically this is my deal management software. So I tick in if they've got residential or if they've got commercial REO, and I tick in what have they got, single family, multi-family, apartments, condos, hotels, what have they got, right? And I take some notes and stuff and any communication that we've gone back and forth, and then I start to tag them, right? So what I say is, okay, this particular bank, I may have never called them. Maybe I've just got the REO contact, but I still haven't called them. Maybe, I've sent out my first email template that I've got, right? Maybe I've had the initial call. After I have the initial call, then basically I'm waiting for them to send me a list. And once they send me a list, then I give that list to my broker that wants to purchase it, my best buyers, and they make an offer. And then I go back and I make these offers, I put a spread on top of that, and I make an offer to the bank, and then I just wait for the bank to either accept or reject that offer, right? So just going through that very quickly one more time. I have a buyer, okay, and the buyer over here, according to his email, he's looking for something in Atlanta, residential REO. So then I've gone into my database and found the banks that I need to speak to that have got residential REO. I've then come here and I've found the contacts that I need to speak to that have got residential REO, okay? So that's how I basically do it. The complete process is this. It's a 7-step process. Find the bank, right? That's step 1. Number 1 is you got to find the bank. Number 2, find the contact in the bank you need to speak to. Then the third step I do, I bring up my script, which is a bunch of, these mind maps that I've created that tell me exactly what I'm going to say to that person to be able to answer any questions they've got about me, and also to ask them questions so that I'm getting all the information I need from them, okay, so that I can actually get that list, okay. So I call the bank with my script. I then obtain that REO list, a list of REO, right, or notes if I'm interested in notes, and then I show that list to my buyer. and the buyer makes me offers, or may put on a spread on top of that, and I'll make offers back to the bank. And then we just go through closing the deal. Either they accept the offer or they reject the offer. Either way, I then just move on. Okay, so what have I got here for you today? Today, the main focus of today is basically how to find the bank, right? That's what today's about. I'm not going to go through all of this. Today's focus, this video is only going to give you the information on how to find the right bank, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to grab a pen and paper really quick, right? Because I want to show you a free resource on the internet that tells you exactly which bank has the owned real estate that you want to buy, right? So that you can then contact them and basically buy your REO direct from the banks, okay? I'll wait a second while you go and grab your pen and paper. Okay, I want you to imagine this scenario. Okay, what if you could purchase REO direct from the banks, right? Without having to go through any agents. I'm talking direct from the bank, from the person in the bank, the actual contact that's selling that REO, the guy who's in charge of disposing of those distressed assets on their books, right? I'm talking direct to the banks, right? I mean, how much cheaper could you purchase these properties for, right? And I mean, what if you knew exactly which banks had what REO that you're interested in, right? Sound like a stretch? Look, I used to think so too, right? Until it happened to me, right? In the past few years, I've used this free internet resource to basically obtain hundreds of lists from banks, right? Direct from the banks, okay? And I've done this for my buyers again and again and again, okay? I've also used this same free internet resource that I'm about to show you, right, to purchase directly from the bank for, prices as low as 25 cents in the dollar, and sometimes even a bit lower. I'm not saying that you're always going to get that, right? It just depends on the bank and what situation that bank is in and how desperate they are to basically sell that. But what I am saying is that you've got a lot better chances of getting these properties very cheap when you deal direct with the bank as opposed to the agent that goes between you and the bank, because the agent is getting it from the bank and the agent is putting his little bit of, cherry pie on top of that. So you want to be going direct to the bank, okay? Look, the one thing that got me there was this owned real estate Excel file, right? Let me show it to you. Let me just bring it up and let me show it to you, right? This particular file here, right? You can get this file. This file is freely available from the internet, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is, exactly how to download it, okay? This is freely available. Let me show you what this information has, right? Basically, it's got the name of the bank, right? What city they're in, what state they're in, okay? And when they reported this information, right? So the banks have to report out this information every quarter. So the date that they reported it. So this particular information, as you can see up there, this was reported on the 31st of March, 2015. So this information I'm showing you is up to date till that date, okay? So it's also then got, if you scroll all the way over here to the right hand side, what you're going to see is this here is the information that is of interest to you, right? Here is their, their total RORE, they call it owned real estate, or you can say REO, right? Real estate owned, right? And you multiply this by 1,000, right? So this particular bank has got 989,000, almost $1 million worth of REO, right? And how's that REO split up? Well, over here, you've got your residential, your multi, your non-residential, right? Your construction and your agricultural. And this report basically tells you all of that information. And this report is freely available from the internet, okay? So that's what I'm talking about, right? That's what got me there, okay? That particular Excel file is the start of it, okay? But this file, basically, it gets submitted by the banks every quarter, okay? And it contains, the bank name, like I showed you. It's got the bank name. It's also got the website link to the bank website, okay? And it's also got what REO they actually own, at that point in time that they reported it, okay? Now, what can you do with this Excel file, right? Let me show you exactly, how I used it, okay? And this is a bit of sort of free cloud software that I built this in. So let me show it to you. That's this software here that you've already kind of seen, okay? This here, I take that Excel file and I put it into this software, okay? And I basically build myself these different reports. So if I want to know, this is an REO report by state. If I want to know which states have the most REO, there they are, right? This is listed by the most states, right? If I want to know which banks have the most REO at this point in time, there you go, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and so on and so forth. And, some of these bigger banks, they might be harder to get into, but some of the smaller ones, they might be a bit easier to get into. If I want to know, for example, which city's got the most REO, again, I can just pull it out of this report and so forth and so on, right? Okay, and so there's a bunch of other reports, that I've also built, and you can continue to just build more and more reports in this as you see fit. So some of the other reports that I also have built is these over here, right? So for example, if I wanted to, have a look at what REO is available in, say, the city of New York, I can click on New York there in the state, the state of New York, and these are all the cities in New York then that then have some REO. So I can click any one of these cities, and now I know that this particular bank, Alden State Bank, has some REO. They've got about 628,000 worth of residential REO, and they've got about 94,000 worth of non-residential, which is your commercial REO, right? So that's one report there. If I wanted to know which state, right, has the most REO, then what I could also do, I could just click on that state, and this is then just basically going to go and filter that down, right? So it's taken a bit, and it'll eventually just filter that down, and it'll show me exactly which states have the REO. So that has completed, and as you can see in this particular state, right, so now we're just looking at state, we've got that much residential, and we've got sort of the red one sort of non-residential, and we've got a little bit of construction and a very small amount of agriculture, right? This shows as a pie chart, and this just shows it as stacked up chart on top of each other. Okay, that's basically by state, right? On the other hand, if I wanted to do that same type of thing but this time by bank, then basically I can pick the state, right? So I can pick a particular state, and down here, whoops, I just got to refresh that page. Looks like the session has expired. Let me just refresh the page. Okay, let's just try that again. So I basically click the state, and then I click on the city, and basically it straight away just filters out, right? So once you're connected to enough a nice connection, it's pretty fast, right? So Reliance Bank, right, in this particular state, in the city of Athens, right, Reliance Bank has 145 residential REO. So it's 145,000 residential REO, and the majority that they've got is your non-residential stuff. So that's your commercial stuff. Okay, so this is great stuff, right? If I just want to see it across the board, I can have nothing ticked and it shows it to me across the board. But if I want to filter down by a particular state, what's one that's a bit popular? Okay, GA. If I want to filter down by a particular state, then that's, I just click on the state up the top, and I just then click on the actual city name. Let's go to a different city, Atlanta. That's the one that was in the email. So again, right, so I click on Georgia, I click on Atlanta, and again, I can see exactly what bank's got what. And this is in a bit more detail, because here, I can actually see the breakdown of each bank. I can see that, how much residential, how much commercial, how much construction, how much agriculture REO they've got. Some other reports that I use quickly, right? This is just, it's a list of all the banks, and it's just called a tree map, right? And they're sized by, the amount of REO that they own. Then I've got a similar type of tree map, but this one is basically by city, right? So I just know, where the majority of REO is. And again, this basically gets, you can refresh this information sort of every quarter or so, okay? So that's what I use. That's how I use that Excel sheet, okay? So that Excel sheet is freely available from the internet, and this is how I use it, right? I create reports. One of the beauties of it is that with this software, which is freely, you can get it for free, this software, right? And you can put your Excel sheet in there and make all these reports, right? But one of the beauties of it is that when you make a dashboard, you can just type in there. So, going over that example again, if I wanted to find a bank that has, REO residential, so they call it ORE, right? REO residential, and I just want to order that, by REO residential, right? Then I can do that. These are all the banks, right, that have got some residential REO, but the email said that he wanted something in the city, right, city of Atlanta. So I can just go city, Atlanta, and that, it's just natural language. You just type in, you just see what you get back, and you type a bit more and you see what you get back, and you eventually just work it out. So there's some great reports that I've created, and the other ones you can just pull them out for me. And if you wanted to make this a report, you just click here, and it's pinned to the dashboard, right? Then it's always there, so that then when I go to my dashboard, if I scroll down, somewhere down the bottom, here it is, there's the report that we just made, right? City, Atlanta, right? I can always see what's available, which banks have got REO in the city of Atlanta. Okay, so that's how I use that Excel spreadsheet. So again, this software, right, it's a free cloud software, right? So there's no reason why you can't do this as well. Okay, there's another video. In another video, I actually show you exactly how to set up this advanced interactive database from the Excel file, right? I actually show you that once you've got the Excel file, right, how do you upload that into this free software and set up those reports that you just seen. Okay, so the beauty of this is, this software, these examples that I'm showing you, there are people out there that sell this stuff, you know, $500 a year, and I've even seen it for, you know, $1,000 a year. This exact same functionality. What I'm showing you is how to get this stuff for free. No monthly charges, right? Once it's set up, that's it, right? You can just use it every month. Okay, but this particular video is about how to get the data, right? How to get the data free from the internet, because that is step number one. Without the data, you're nowhere. That Excel file that I showed you, right? That's what this video is about, how to get the Excel file, okay? So I've actually created a video that shows you exactly how to download this file, this Excel file, free from the internet. So again, what I'm talking about is this particular Excel file here, how to download that free from the internet. I've made a video, a training video, that shows you exactly where to click, what website to go to, and how to actually get that file free from the internet, okay? Click the button on this page and an email will be sent to you with the link to my free training video that will be emailed out to you. Again, it's zero risk. This is totally free. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope this has been helpful to you today, getting a partial look at exactly how I do my deals. So again, click the button so I can send you the link on exactly how to get that data, which is step number one, okay? So click the button and get started today.